Hi, 3Ds in the poor. Hi, I'm the Drunken Dad, and we have Angmo Dan and we have
You are
TY. Okay, this week, TY is supposed to share a topic and we'll talk about it. But before that, let's see. Even though it's not really, we are not really abiding to the time, but let's just see how much
roll the
time we
dice.
get this time. But I mean, it's good. It's good to have
Hmm.
an expectation of how much time we can talk about things. Then we can organize. Oh,
What?
wow! This
What?
is the very first time at very first take we got six. This is
60 minutes.
madness. Okay,
Madness.
that's
Madness.
okay. 60 minutes max. But if we hit certain point where we don't think we need to continue, then let's just.
Okay.
Okay,
Right.
okay. So 60 minutes and the time starts now. Let's go.
Rock and roll. So today's topic we are talking about complacency during flight or in flight or
Mm,
flight complacency. All right.
mm,
So with a series of accidents here and there, So and I'm sure everyone has taken flight before, and then you see this um, the flight air stewardess doing the safety briefing, and people are just like doing their phone, reading their
mm,
manuals, falling
mm,
asleep, or when the safety belt signs up, people are still taking it out and I need to go to the toilet, that kind of thing. And
mm,
during takeoff, people are still using the handphone. Yeah, hang on, I need to send the last message. And what else?
mm.
Oh, yeah, and while the plane has landed and taxiing, and they start taking off their seatbelt and start standing out and grabbing their luggage. So what
Mm.
have you? What? How do you all feel? Because for me,
Okay, our yeah.
I like to abide by the rules. I try to. All right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
think they are there for a reason, and because
exactly.
we,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
right. Okay, okay. But I've experienced once,
mhm.
which in my context and my my whole life, I have been having this concept that when you take flight, right, when the person asks you to put on your seatbelt and blah blah, you're gonna fasten your seatbelt. So there's one time I took a flight.
Mm.
I just thought of this. So there's one, I don't know, I think she's an Australian or something, a
Okay.
lady. So she
Okay.
was in front of me, right? And then that's why I heard her. So the air stewardess was walking around asking people. It was before we take off, and she was like, ma'am, can you please put on your seatbelt? Then the lady actually asked her why. Then the air stewardess was like, it's for your safety. Then you know what the girl, I still remember. She was like, it's my life. I have the rights to decide what is good for myself.
Get out of the plane
I was,
because they
I
are
mean,
they
I
are
mean,
responsible. Yeah.
no, but that moment I was like, wow, I didn't know we can this kind of.
Retards.
I mean, in a way, it
Self-centered,
is true. It's like
self-righteous
it's something
retards.
like if I were to take a drug, right? It's my own decision. Who are
Yeah.
you to
Yeah.
dictate whether I should?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the air
It's my life. I
stewardess,
will be responsible. It's okay. I will just crash my car into another passerby. I will be responsible
yeah,
for it. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm so sorry if I happen to hit your kid. So
It's just I was out. I was like, wow. I was, and then the air stewardess being very nice. She was like,
which flight?
yes, but it's really for yours and also everyone's safety, and it's for a better. Can you just put on your seatbelt? Yeah. Then then and then she walked away. I
Which
think
airline?
there are for two reasons. That I can't remember. The air stewardess walked away for two reasons. One, I think maybe she
Uh,
thought that it's no use arguing with this person.
yeah.
You don't have to
They'll
that.
make a report. Yeah.
Secondly, it's really your choice. If something happen, if you get hurt or something, just make sure that you. And because we all heard that, I think she was loud enough, and maybe the air stewardess was like, okay, these people can be my witness or something that I already
No,
asked her to put because
no,
she
no,
didn't
no,
want.
no,
But
no,
I think
no.
she eventually put. She was like, "Beep, beep, 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 beep," then
Yeah, this is like some self-righteous, self-centered, egotistical.
no,
Oh man, I hate.
actually,
Yeah.
it was almost like how I heard someone say that whether during COVID,
Mm.
whether I want to put on mask or not is my own right. Whether I know it's for my own good, but if
Sure,
even if I
sure,
get it, then
sure,
okay, sure.
sure.
Yeah.
That's why in Singapore, it's a fine country. Everything we kind of decided, we put it into a law, right?
Mm,
We don't
mm,
put it like an advisory note because in Singapore, it won't work. In Singapore, it's really practical. If we want to enforce something, we put it in the law, and then there always do this thing.
mm,
If not, you'll be
You get
responsible
fined.
for it. Yeah. So either you get fined or you get sued or you get sent to jail. So and you don't
I
pass
mean,
go
of
without
course,
collect.
the very classic is the commando who refuse, the lady who keep on refusing to wear the mask.
Yeah.
Remember, who are
Why you
you?
say commando? She's
That
not
guy.
commando lah. Why is she commando?
She commando what? I think
No,
she got no man. She's like
no.
some okay. So
She
anyway,
used
never
to
mind.
serve in the military lah, but she's not commando.
Oh,
What a disgrace if she's a commando. Oh my god.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Amodan, what's your thought?
Yeah, sorry, we've covered quite a lot there. That's quite good, actually. We've got loads of. I think we can do an hour for sure. Okay, so the rules of the aircraft, they're there. You must abide, basically. And I wanted to go into rules outside of the aircraft. I think that's a pretty good discussion. What do I think of? Yeah, I'm with TY on this. This is just follow the rules.
Mm.
I always put the seatbelt on, even when we are during the flight. If it's not just takeoff and landing, but during the flight as well. I don't know.
This
What
the recent.
I think the stories of people not abiding by the rules to show you how, this kind of entitlement thing. It's a bit. No, I mean you have to wear. They would not wear one in a car. This Australian passenger that you saw and heard. I mean, she would not talk like that to the police officer if she was driving her car without a seatbelt. It's my life. I suppose it's a little bit different because if she does have an accident, she could cause an accident with other drivers. But even an aircraft, if you don't have your seatbelt on, and then there's a turbulence, and then you're pushed out of your chair for some reason, you might hit somebody else who then will have an injury, for example.
Yeah. So it comes back to these self-centered, egoistical, self-righteous passengers or people in general who happen to think like that. They don't like to be talked down to. They don't like to take instructions. They don't like to conform. They want their individuality. And it's the difference. If you are driving and the police stop you, there is authority. But an air stewardess is, sorry for saying this, but it's a steward is a waitress in the air, right? So technically they have no authority over you. I mean, they can report. They are not air marshal, so they can't fine you. They can't do anything to you. And this is especially true if you are in the first or business class, right? So this is the part where I get annoyed by this kind of thing. Yeah, I'm with Dan. When I even they released that you can remove your seatbelt, I still put on my seatbelt because I know what a turbulence can happen to someone. If you fly up and you're too slow to block your head, you sprain your neck, or you get dislocated, or you just die, right? And the recent flight accident shows that the exact thing that happened in the air turbulence. A lot of people don't understand.
That was a while ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand what happened when there's air turbulence, right? They thought, oh yeah, just a little roller coaster. No, this is the exact thing. You'll be taken aback. You'll be so fast. It's too fast for you to react. Your head is right on top of your shoulders, and the next thing is the ceiling comes in, and you will snap your shoulder, your neck, and that is the thing. So again, if you have dependents that you have to look after, don't die before them, right? You have to survive and take care of them, and this is important.
I have got a little story though, and I remember taking an early flight. This is like over 20 years ago. An early morning flight, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was on the aircraft, all seatbelts on, and I was just waiting for the aircraft to take off. But I was tired, so I closed my eyes. I was sat on the chair, closed my eyes, the air stewardess came over and said, "Excuse me, sir, can you wake up?
Mhm.
We are about to take off."
Mm.
Until this day, that really annoyed me because I was thinking,
Why?
"Well, you really need me to be. You need me to be awake to take off, do you?"
Right. Right. Yeah.
um,
We totally understand that, right? We understood the reason, right, behind.
Not really.
No, okay. So I may be wrong, but any pilot out there or air stewardess should correct me and leave it, let us know. But generally, the most dangerous part of the flight is taking off and landing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the most dangerous part generally, right? Anything else happen up there, there's nothing you can do. But
Mm-hmm.
the taking off part is the part where they had to, from stationary, they had to speed up. Everything is rolling, and of course there's and accidents tend to happen this part because there's a lot of friction, there's a lot of speed, and there's a lot of intermittent bumpy road. Someone's coming down from another lane that screw up and everything.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of crazy stuff that's going on during taking off or landing. So that's the part where everybody has supposed to be in high alert. Yeah, and also, exactly. So you technically supposed to be awake. These days they kind of lag, but if you are putting a headphone, technically you're supposed to take out a headphone. And now Bluetooth is okay, but you're supposed to remove it so that you can hear emergency messages. So previously you have that cord that connected to your TV, right? You're supposed to take it out because why? If there's an emergency, you get tangled up. People will not be able to run out, and of course naturally you cannot hear the messages, and then this thing links to the bags that's at your footwell, right? So we like to, for me, out of convenience, I like to put my bag at my foot, so that when everything's ready, I can sneak up my iPad. So I don't have to stand up and do all those stuff, right? But sometimes when we have too many suitcase or luggage or baggage, we will put the stuff up there, and then we will sneak our backpack or whatever, and then our backpack happen to be big, and then that will trap people, or your shoulder strap comes out. People getting in and out, just going toilet can also trap them. So imagine if there's an emergency. Again, I bring us another example where the Japan airline, the one of the Japan airline, they caught fire and then they evacuated within 90 minutes. Sorry, no, 90 seconds.
90 seconds.
90 seconds. Now, imagine if there's that Australian lady who is not conforming to anything. Why should I leave? Why should I cross my arm when I jump? Why let me burn to them? Then, wow, good riddance to her. But so imagine in such a chaotic situation, and you have this bag that's blocking you, and you cannot escape the fuse.
Or you fell because of that.
Yeah, so it's crazy, and of course, imagine halfway you're running, you are getting out. Please stow away the seat tray, right, properly and securely. They always use the word securely. They never just say stow away, because you stand up and the thing drops down and it blocks you and you couldn't get up. Again, all this. Yeah, so
it's actually interesting because psychologically, you need to show people what is the reasoning, and you want to show. Ultimately, you want to show worst case scenarios, but you don't want to scare people to fly on airplanes.
Yeah.
However, what is quite interesting about this is if we really want to, from our last episode, cut carbon and not make people fly around, and we want to help global warming, if you want to reduce people flying, you should show people before they fly what potentially could go wrong with all these different scenarios whereby everyone's trying to get off the airplane, but there's bag straps and the stow tray is down,
but
and they're trying to get out. And you've got some really good sort of action sequences of people not getting off that aircraft because the tray is down, and you say, this is why we're asking you to do it. So basically you're informing them the reason. That would be the safety video. But then again, people might just go, I don't want to go on an airplane anymore.
Exactly. So this this Amotan teacher is all into scare tactics.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I no, but in a way, if you think about, and this the other topic you raised about the Singapore is a fine city, it's the only trouble is with human beings. It's the only way it can work. Because if you just say, oh, we've got a social contract, it's just a given. It's like love your neighbor. It doesn't work, especially in this day and age. You need just to say, don't do it, or fine you $500 or whatever it is, or $1,000. Don't do it. And then that's the only way. That's the only way it can work. If you're relaxed about it and say, we're all fellow humans. We know we can be civil to each other. No, we can't.
You know, I was young enough to listen to all those coffee shop kopitiam talk, and then people were saying, they were telling me, the uncles, they were telling me, in Singapore, all the earlier gangsters, even in the early 60s, 50s, there's lots of gangsters and secret societies and all. Say, the old gung ho gangsters, they fear nobody, no gods, and no devil, but they only fear one thing. They are not even afraid of going to the jail, but they
scared
fear
their
one
mum.
thing. Huh? They fear
Their
caning.
mum.
No, they fear
Okay.
caning. The Singapore caning.
Is it the actual act, or is it the humiliation of having an audience watching you?
No. In Singapore, it's the actual pain where your skin and flesh split from after each stroke.
No, there's no public viewing. It's just that you'll get caning.
Yeah,
Like just now I was reading a news.
Well, there used to be public in schools. Now I'm wondering if it's
Yeah.
been ingrained. It used to be, and
Oh.
20 years ago, yes.
Yeah.
Probably
You mean
not
students?
now,
Probably
but
not now.
Students
Probably
public
not now.
caning. Students.
student
Yeah, that's
public caning.
students. No,
Now,
I'm talking about the
no, I know
prison.
you're talking
Yeah.
about that, but I know you're talking about that, but this must be ingrained in the psyche of these people from school, because a lot of your worldviews are going to be come from your childhood.
Okay.
You're going to
Yes.
be
During my time.
authority figures, and if you're getting public canings at school with all your mates going,
No, during my
look at him,
time, there's public caning, but of course the pain, the mortal pain is not the factor. It's the humiliation that they are trying to impart. But at the same time, the humiliation is a double-edged sword. So they abolish it, because and then some gangsters, they can take the public caning, they can accept the physical pain, they don't feel ashamed, and on top they actually came up being, I'm proud. Yeah, I take it in front of everybody. Yo, it's a show, man. Now I'm the big boss. So they realize that, hey, this public caning is an adverse. There's an adverse impact. Of course, we have digressed about this caning, but yeah. So yeah. So back to the whole air thing. So I feel that a lot of people may not understand the implication. Like, ask you to do something. Why in the airplane? Why must I do something? Why must I do this thing? Why can't I just put my hand in front? It's like, so they don't understand. So and the safety video, they don't tell you the reason. They just ask you, God damn it, follow, right? So people who feel, especially the general Western culture, why should I follow you? You explain to me. Why should I follow you? Because right, the Asian will be more conformative.
It's
human
actually,
rights thing.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because, I mean, to be honest with you, I agree. It is a Western entitled attitude. It's like, why do I have to do it?
Yeah.
It's about me, me. Why do I have to do this?
Yeah.
And I agree that is a very Western thing, but it never. We were never like that before. Let's put it that way.
Sure. No,
you rare, and it kind of leads on to another incident that was a while ago as well, where there's an American airline, I don't know which one, a passenger, because she was sitting on the emergency exit seats where you've got more leg room, she was advised by the advised or
consulted
told?
first. She was consulted.
I think it might be. She was consulted about the fact that she is on these seats.
She's obliged to do something.
There's special seats, and so basically you're meant to do you're meant to help out if there's an emergency. You're meant to do A, B, C. I can't remember what the details are. But then she turned around and said, "I'm not doing that. I'm just going to help. I'm just going to help myself. I'm just going to get off the airplane first." He said, "Oh no, sorry, but because you're on these seats, you have to help your fellow passengers first." I'm not doing that. We're in agreement, right? You're agreeing with me that I'm not going to do anything. Oh no, sorry, ma'am. That you have to. Oh no, and then the stewardess went away, and then another gentleman came and explained to her, and she said, "No, I'm not doing that. I just made an agreement with the stewardess that I'm not going to do that." And then the pilot came and they explained the same thing, and then it was the plane literally did not take off, and eventually the security came. But before she was taken off, all the passengers had to
Disembark.
disembark.
Yeah.
Everyone else.
Why?
Everyone else. I can't quite work out because the
Why?
video skipped. So it was just that she was not moving. So they asked all the other passengers to get off the airplane. Then the police came, escorted her, handcuffed her. She had to walk down the steps onto the tarmac, go into the police car, handcuffed and everything. It's like that entitlement is I agree. And maybe maybe this conversation is going into kind of entitlement, selfishness.
It's fine.
But it's fine, and I suppose in a way, why do we do this? I mean, we're given safety briefings that we don't watch. We've got that piece of cardboard that tells you what to do in an emergency, but no one really reads. No one is really told the repercussions of it, but we were never told repercussions, 20 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. We were never told, we're doing the tray thing because if you get stuck, you're not going to get off the aircraft if we have to do an emergency landing and get off the airplane in the sea. So it's like with lots of things in this world, we're told to do things,
but not explained,
and we just do it. Psychologically, we do follow rules, and we just do it. We don't know why we're doing it. We drive on the left. Why is that?
And the sad thing is that, if you happen to ask, and if you are inquisitive someone, and you ask, "Oh, why should I do that?" Well, maybe you shouldn't ask, "Why should you do that?" Maybe you should explain to me the basis or rationale. When you pose a question like that, the other party may think that, "Oh, now this is a troublemaker." You ask all this question. So, but sometimes at first, I mean, I'm an inquisitive person. I want to know why. But sometimes what would the person think? Will he think that I'm a troublemaker? But no, I'm just trying to understand. What's the rationale for doing certain things? Because in the military, when you have a training, when you do this, you do that, you do this, they explain to you, you do this, why. Therefore, you have to do it, and we know. If we don't do this, something will happen, and not just to ourselves, but to our health. So
I think we are talking about two things here. One is how can we better how can we better deliver this message, and another one is some special cases where people are being very self-centered, and no matter how you put it, they just don't care, and they don't understand the fact that you need to abide to law, you need to abide to something. Okay. But for the first part, right, I have something to say, because this semester I've been studying risk management, like risk communication. There's a lot of studies to actually plan and design how we actually put message across. Like, for example, don't text and drive. So just this action itself, how do you communicate this? I mean, like for us, right? We can easily think that, okay, if you do that, you will endanger the other kids, or endanger another person on the road. You can endanger yourself, and then what if something happened to you? Then your family, how, blah blah. But it's just but not everyone thinks the same. So in order to get this message across, for example, like TY just said, maybe we should have a video saying that if you don't do that, then you will broke your leg. But again, that's that. But again, that's then. But maybe that works. Maybe that works for someone. It's just like the car accident. Like how I don't know whether you guys saw or not. A very long time ago, when I was a kid, I remember I saw this comparison of this person with a seatbelt, another without. Then the one with the seatbelt, she was safe, and another one was like the road. So then please wear a seatbelt. It saves lives.
Yeah, the 90s, they are all into
they are big.
Well,
with
there
the
was
scare things.
Those are
even
crash test dummies. They use a lot of, I remember in UK adverts with lots of crash test dummies in cars, one with seatbelt, one with no seatbelt, and then you see the dummy crash through the windscreen. Lots of
Yeah.
adverts on,
Yeah.
on TV for that.
even
Yeah.
today, smoking your cigarette pack, they have static, right? You see all the cancers and everything. Okay, now I'm going to ask a question. Maybe this is a very easy one.
Yeah.
During the in-flight safety briefing, in the event where the air oxygen mask drops down,
I
adults
know what
please
I
help
want to ask.
yourself to it and then help the kids. Why?
Yeah.
Because you need to have oxygen to survive and do the job of putting it onto your child. If you're not doing your child first, you'll suffocate.
Yeah, so exactly. So asphyxiation comes very fast. So so the rationale is, okay, well, hang on. So the instinct is the adult will take care of the kids first. But then if you run out of oxygen and then you faint, you can't even save the kid. So the rationale is help yourself first. If your kid has fainted, you still can resuscitate the kid. But if you are gone, no one can resuscitate the kid, or someone else had to do it other than you. Then that's not going to be cool. So, this is a simple reason. If for people who didn't pick up, they will just blindly listen. Okay, adult first, and then but then in times of emergency, the parent may forget. They will tend to the kid first. Now this is, but this was never explained in the safety video. They just say very subtly, adults we put on first, then take care of the kids. But they never explain why. So hopefully, as we get more educated or knowledgeable or just curious, go find out why you do certain thing. Don't just they say I do, therefore that's right. Yeah. Of course. Then the other thing, like always remember the nearest exit might be the one behind you, because we in time of emergency, we're always looking forward, right? It's like, hey, the exit might be right behind you, so don't just run and just crowd around the exit in front of you. Look around, be situational aware. What other stuff? The smoke is
Well, I've noticed with the online, with the safety stuff, a lot, especially with the bigger planes, they just have the in-flight video that does it. Not necessarily the stewardesses all lined up along the aisle doing it. And I vaguely remember them doing some kind of comedy thing. I'm not sure if that was just a funny YouTube thing I saw, a comedy skit.
No, there is
yeah.
one of the airlines.
A budget airline did. Yeah. Which one, sorry?
Actually, I think several airlines are trying creative ways to present the
safety information.
The safety information, yeah. But I agree with you guys that I think maybe a video or information with more detail, like for example air pocket or turbulence, like about, for example, why certain things are designed this way. I mean, let's just assume that everyone knows these are the rules. Okay, you have to do A, B, C, D, E. Now, why? I think now we have to actually, this safety video and messages, right? It has been in this whole thing for at least 20 years. I don't know. At least for the very first, for the longest time, right? They never really update whatever to maybe at this certain this age of time, we should actually update this. Maybe
to be honest, I'm really serious, right, about my idea of scaring scary videos will be a double stone, two birds with one stone. If they want to cut down people's holidays and carbon, air flight,
I know what you're going to say.
because ultimately, that's what. Look, I tell you something. If they do this, then you know why they're doing it. They're trying to scare everyone up to not fly.
No, don't do that, because that's going to drive airfare up, because now less people are flying.
But honestly, that's what they're trying to do, right?
I love to.
If you believe in the whole, the social credit score, right? We're going to reduce everyone's holiday. You're going to have one holiday every 2 years. The 15-minute cities where you just don't leave your city, basically. you're going to have allowed to buy 2 pieces of clothing a year. If this is real, this is tinfoil. We're halfway through. This is tinfoil hat. Dan
Why?
has
Why?
joined the
Why
conversation.
is it
If you
sounding
just
like
have
a communist?
scary videos, scary airline safety videos.
you
No,
you
but
are starting to sound like Kim Jong Il. Kim Jong
okay.
Un.
So maybe that's one extreme. Another extreme is in a very comical way. I mean, it's also scare tactics, but it's in a more comical way. Just imagine. I remember there used to be a cartoon that someone just take the knife or cut, then got blood. Or South Park. Imagine South Park. You know how South Park was a very
Yeah,
Yeah,
adult kind of
it's
video. That kind.
it's an adult
It
satire.
was like
Yeah.
fuck, but then they would just then that kind of thing.
Oh, I know another way of
It
doing
was
it.
yeah.
Have you heard of?
But
I
kids
think
can't.
it's called. I think it's called. Is it social engineering? Anyway, it's the idea that now they are releasing movies
Mm.
that have messaging to get you ready for something. Okay, so there was a.
Like they is
Well,
it you
I
mean
think
brainwashing
the Civil War. Yeah,
propaganda?
that what was that Obama? Not about he helped out. He funded it. He gave some input. It was
Obamacare.
what was it was a movie, right? It was a movie.
Uh,
Basically, what would happen if all technology went out? You didn't have internet, you didn't have telephones. So basically, it pinpointed on this family who were stuck in a house,
Mm-hmm.
and they did not know what was going on in the rest of the country. And they had scenes like these self-driving cars went all wacky and wild and started crashing into each other. It was quite an interesting movie.
it's a sci-fi
But
show.
basically, they're trying. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was called now.
Uh,
Ah,
it's a sci-fi horror show, right?
sci-fi, not really sci-fi because there was not much. It's very psychological. I'd say psychological
Psychological.
science drama. Um, let's see.
Dun, dun,
So
dun,
they're making they're making these movies now to try and
time.
get
Is
you
it?
ready for. There's a new movie, Civil War, as well. They're trying to make out that America might go into a civil war. Leave the world behind.
I'll leave the world.
Leave
Leave
the
the
world behind.
world behind. So they're making these movies now to get you ready for certain things that are going to happen in our societies.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they could just drop in certain scenes in movies about the mask coming down or the the tray not being down or being up. Sorry.
Yeah. So
Why do we do these? Oh, it's in the movie. It's in movies now. If there's an aircraft scene, an airline scene in a movie, they could tell you why
Yeah, I mean,
they got to tell you why you must be awake when you take off.
I think to be rational and to be serious, I really think it's a good idea. It's like I think this in this era, people tend to know something and they want to know why. Like people will
Yeah.
ask why, and then it becomes
Yeah.
like very informational, and it
Yeah.
helps as
Yeah.
parents to educate the kids also because I think kids will generally ask you, "I don't want to put on seatbelt. Why do I need to put on seatbelt?" And maybe parents don't know how to say. They will just say that it's a rule.
just
But
do
what's the
whatever I
rule?
tell you.
Why? Yeah, something like that. So it will help a lot if we can have this kind of video, and then the parents can actually educate the kids. I think it's a really great idea to have to. It's time to update the content of safety briefing because A B C D E you can just list down. You don't have to spend time. You have to store your luggage because we know.
Right.
Okay, you just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and why. I
Okay.
think the
So
why should take longer duration.
I'm gonna post another question. So let's say Dan's sleeping at the window seat, right? And it's a sunny day, and then during takeoff, the air stewardess come over and say, Mr. Curson, could you please wake up? Number one, number two, could you please raise the window shade? We need to open up the shade. You cannot shut it. Do you know the reason why during takeoff and landing the shade had to be open?
I think I do, but I've never looked into it. Is it something to do with terrorism, and if the aircraft's been taken over by terrorists?
Okay, that's one guess. What's Ken's guess?
Not right.
I don't know.
It's a
I don't know.
obviously the only reason is because you have to look out for UFOs, right? No, not UFOs. Okay, so it's a very practical reason because again, during takeoff and landing is the most critical. It's one of the most important part. So in case during the and during
Got
takeoff, for
fire.
example, the engine will have to go into the optimal, and then if there's
Speed.
a combustion, there's a burning or debris, or during taking off, going so fast, if you see a debris that, let's say, the tire gets shredded off and hit the engine, with the windows you can hear the sound pump and you can see something, or the engine start burning, right? You can see it with the shade open, right? If not, then no one is going to take notice, because in a flight, when you take off, you pick up your speed, right? You have this R1, R2, R3. So when you reach a certain speed, velocity one, you can give up the flight. You can stop, turn off the engine, you can stop. But you reach a certain velocity, you have to take off regardless of what happened, right? Because it's too fast to terminate the flight.
I'm getting
Yeah.
a feeling. I'm getting a feeling that riding on an aircraft is a group effort.
It
not
is.
just the pilot.
I mean, you should help.
But the passengers,
it's a big
passengers need
flying lorry,
to
right?
be looking out the windows for debris so they can inform. Excuse me.
No,
I think the wing is falling off.
Yeah.
the air stewardess didn't ask you to look out. It's the job the air stewardess is supposed to look out.
And also,
So,
also, if let's say there's something bad happen, dangerous thing, then if you were to escape, right, you have to still see what if like the window stuck and then you cannot open, and then like something happened, you cannot escape. So at
no,
least if
you
the
don't
window is
escape through the
open, you can
window lah.
observe. Yeah, lah, but you can observe what is happening outside,
Yeah,
like
you can
whether there's
observe, yes.
danger also. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
have this window thing. We already explained about the bag and why safety belt. That's very basic. What else? Wear your shoe. Why should you wear your shoe? You cannot take off your shoe.
Simply because you don't want to be stepping on things and you don't want to leave anything on the floor to trap to stumble people. You see, so just put on your shoe. Don't take out your shoe. Yeah.
Okay, we also explain why
keep the
cannot.
passage clear. Keep the passage clear. That's the general thing.
Okay. Okay. Turn off. These days you don't really have to turn off your phone, but you can do it on flight
you
mode.
don't.
I think
But that's quite easy.
That was.
But you have to remove the headphone.
So,
Yeah.
but turning off your phones, because it will affect the affect the
signal, the radio,
the communication, the radio, the really was that really
Yeah.
They
I think it was because
of
of it will kind of like. But these days, because of the bandwidth, because of technology advancement, then you don't have to. But last time it really does affect. I read something before. Yeah, it does affect.
Yeah, it's like now if you drive to a petrol kiosk, previously you're not supposed to use a phone because the old phone, the signal can create spark and that may spark the gas, right? The petrol. But now the sign no phone is still there, but they stop it because the new phone does not have any spark or there's no antenna and or the signal is not strong enough to create any form of an open flame to ignite the fuel. Yeah. So yeah. Once I was at a petrol kiosk and then this dude came out pumping one hand on like holding a phone and one hand pumping his car. Oh, where's Ken? I didn't tell the person. I was just joking. I was like, oh, wait, aren't we not allowed to? Aren't we? We're supposed to not use the phone, right? And he said, yeah, no, but I think now it's okay and everything. I was like, okay, yeah, is it? Oh, but the sign is still up there. I was just like being sarcastic. Oh, but the sign is still up there. You can't, you can't do it. And then I went back. I went to read up. I said, yeah, okay. So now the new technology, there's no fear of this spontaneous combustion at petrol kiosk. But still, if there's a sign there, then let's observe the sign, right? And not have a sign say stop, but you didn't and you continue to go. Yeah. Where's Ken?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
There's
back.
Ken.
Welcome back. What happened
Um,
to you?
oh, because of the signal.
Signal.
Could be because I was using my phone. It affected.
Oh, yeah.
Just as how it was like it were. I think because last time phones they use like radio wave. I mean like
Mm.
when we first used all the very old phone like
I
didn't
think
carry
you're
much.
right with the
Yeah,
bandwidth. I think it
yeah,
was the
bandwidth thing.
bandwidth that the phones were on was the same as the aircraft, or it might have been a
Yeah,
close banding, but now they've
yeah,
changed
Yeah.
that.
yeah. I
But
think
so
we
I
have.
think
Yeah,
I think yeah.
I think we have covered almost all.
I
It's only
think
40 minutes.
I
So
think I think
what about the
we
simple
need
one? During in the event of emergency landing, you're supposed to bend forward and cover your head. What's the reason behind?
I think it's to
Aren't you supposed to
reduce.
hold onto the seat in front?
No, I think it's to reduce your what was that called? You will get hurt less. Like if you do into like a baby, like then you will protect your body or something. If you do that right, you will get like dislocated here and there. Blah. It's just like how you There's also a pose when you land into the water. You have to do something so you
Okay.
won't hurt yourself, right?
Okay,
Isn't it the same?
so answer is wrong.
Why?
But it's a smart answer, but it's wrong. So simply because in a crash landing, right, the suitcase or the trolley can be flying overhead. So naturally, you just want to lower the vulnerable part of your body, just so that in case things drops on you, you protect your head. Because crash landing is like a hard stop, right? So a simple trolley, for example, can be a projectile already, and if it come flying through, so this thing's not gonna help. It's not. It's if an aircraft gonna crash, this is not gonna.
yeah.
This
You're not going to
your
be
arm
strong enough
power is
to
not going to
yeah.
be good
Yeah.
enough. But it's more of this thing so that your head don't get hit by any flying debris.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, this episode has been quite informative, and this stuff that I'm sure 90% of people don't really know.
Yeah.
Especially, I think ultimately the summary is, 80%, 90% people don't know this stuff, and a lot of them are entitled and they don't want to follow the rules. If they knew what the rules were,
And
why the rules
yeah.
are in place, then they would not question. They
Yeah.
would just say,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, I don't want to die.
You don't have to
I
tell
will
me. I will
follow
keep
that."
it buckled up. Yeah.
And it literally is. I don't want to die. I'll do that then.
Yeah.
If you just tell them why they're doing it.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think eventually like what I studied in the risk communication is to find the right way to tell the right message to the crowd these days. It's just
Yeah,
everyone just
I
have
think you're
different.
everyone's sensitive. Well, everyone deals with information differently.
Yeah,
You're the proper person to, because you're studying this.
yeah.
You're probably the person we should consult really for how to do this, not me, because I'm just gonna
He's
say
gonna scare you. You gotta scare the
mine,
shit out of everyone.
mine is
I see the most
R
hilarious
rated.
answer. I see one of the most hilarious answer right now on internet. It says that why do you have to get into this pose? And then the rumor has it that so that you die faster, you have less pain.
uh,
So
Yeah. So what else? What other things? Like I think actually we all kind of know. It's just like I think every one of us sort of know we need to abide to this rule for our own good.
but we
It's
don't
just
know
whether
what.
I how much possibility that I think it will happen. So
Right.
this is called risk perception, right? My
Yeah.
risk perception is low,
Mm.
so my action will be low as well. What that means to me, like I don't care. But if let's say you are on a roller coaster, do you think people will be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be put on my speed. I'm not gonna put on this." You think people won't do that? They will just put on that as tight as you can.
Yeah.
If you are on a roller coaster, because you know you're gonna be in danger if you don't do that, you will just
Yeah.
fall, you will die.
So that's right. That's why all these recent aircraft accidents, right? Eh,
Mm.
what should I say? Of course, it's unfortunate, but it also heightens and refresh the the sense of cautious among the travelers, and because oh wow, this happened, wow, someone, it's like, oh, so many people get injured, and it start to remind people, hey, don't take it for granted. No, this seatbelt is not there
Mm,
for
mm.
display. It's really to protect you. Don't make sure it doesn't twist. The seatbelt, it doesn't twist. Make sure it's flat. And by the way, do you know why it should not twist? The seatbelt should not be twisted.
Which one?
Well, I think it would
Seatbelt,
make a, it make
any form of any form of
if it
seatbelt.
get,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, if you've got that angle, that can be a knife edge, and if you do yank forward, that's gonna cause injury.
yeah. So
I
naturally,
have no
if you have
idea.
a fabric like this, it spreads the pressure over a wider area,
Mm,
and if you
mm.
do it like this, the pressure is too narrow, and then you will have a lot of damage to your body.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's
oh.
better to make sure it's spread out. Yeah. um uh so in terms of safety, aircraft is just a waste. So that's one point. That's one of the weakest form of safety, but it's meant to protect you from going forward and flying off your chair. All right.
Mm.
Mm,
But the front impact is not. It's not the protection for front impact is not that great because your whole body will move forward, and
Yeah.
that's why in Volvo, back in I think what 50s 70s, Volvo came out with the 3 point, one,
Yeah.
two, three,
Yeah.
3 point.
mm,
So it spreads the pressure zone to more area, so that then you have a better protection. In a race car or a jet fighter, you have the 5 point, one, two, three, four, in the center, I think.
mm.
So more point means more the pressure is spread all over. So you have a better control protection from being thrown
Yep.
forward and things like that. But of course, in the aircraft, commercial aircraft, we can't do that because you need to lean forward. So you cannot have that shoulder
Mm.
strap as well. Yeah, if you don't have to lean forward, they will probably enforce that shoulder strap. But because we need to lean forward, so the shoulder strap is useless. Yeah. So
Mm,
some information. Yeah, it's interesting. So imagine it would be nice. I'm sick of reading in-flight shopping, entertainment.
mhm,
It
mhm,
would be nice
mhm.
if they have all this technical information. I can just like browse. Oh, okay, that would be nice. Or how to fly a plane in the event that the terrorists took over the plane and I managed to overcome the
Yeah.
terrorists.
Yeah.
Then how should I land the plane? Yeah. So it'll be
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, because I used
yeah.
to buy all this survival handbook, like scouting survival handbook. In the event you are lost in the forest, you are lost or you're trapped in the sea, but there's no handbook on planes. Basically our
Mm.
life is like given bestowed onto the pilot and the stewardess to take care of us.
Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
incredible. Really. You're.
I mean,
You're.
it's almost like when you're okay. It's very different. I think
Mm.
flight is very special because even if you're on the sea, right, at
Mm.
least you can sort of, I don't know, sort of decide. But also very hard because if you are like very big ocean, it's just equally hard. But as compared to in the air, you will feel more helpless because you are in the air. You are not a bird.
Yeah,
You
you
can't
can't do
fly.
anything, right? You
Yeah,
can't even you cannot fly in the sea. You still can swim for a while.
yeah. If not okay, maybe in the future, like Elon Musk will come out with like a personal jetpack for all the flights. So at least if anything happen, you can have your jetpack and then you will be like Iron Man, whoo, and you fly off.
But you
I
can't.
don't know.
You know why? Because when the plane is flying, right, and dropping, right, you can't open the door. What? The air
I
pressure
mean,
below I think 10,000, right, above 10,000, right, the air pressure is just too strong. You
Mm.
can't open the door. There's no way to open the door. It's the air pressure.
mm,
It's just you cannot open the door. It's just too strong, too great. So you have to wait until below 10,000, but you don't have an altimeter. You don't know when is 10,000.
mm,
Mm.
So you have to
mm,
keep trying to open the door until finally I can open. Then you jump out. Okay, 10,000 is good time to jump out if you have a parachute. But
Parachute.
then from
Yeah.
yeah.
30,000 to 10,000, if there's no oxygen, you probably fainted already. Like certain air disaster 10 years ago, yeah, you're probably gone within 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah lah, I mean, I'm just saying that maybe in the future we will have all the very advanced safe things to keep us. I don't know, things to keep us safe or not. It's just like how these days the what is that called, the emergency boat of all these they are more advanced now. Like you can literally leave on that emergency boat for 7 days or something.
Oh yeah. It's a safety boat lah.
While waiting for
The
the safety
cruise,
boat
the
while waiting
cruise, yes.
for
They
rescue.
have
Yeah, the
food,
cruise.
yeah, there's everything.
Eh,
But aircraft is
maybe
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we now have a lot of spaceship and now of course there would be some ways. I don't know.
Until
It's
today,
just that
right?
it's
We have
expensive.
all the tracking and everything, right? The control station still do not know, still do not, or rather the aviation community, right, still do not have a real life tracking of a flying aircraft. Okay,
Yeah,
technically we can have the technology, technically we can
yeah,
do that, but they don't do it. Yeah. And then another information, when the aircraft crash on the sea, right, water is so soft, right? But there's this thing called the I think it's called what, water tension or something like that. So when you come at the speed, at a height, and then when you slam onto the water can be as high as a concrete.
Mm.
So
yeah.
if certain thing crash into the big ocean at a very high speed, even the human flesh is okay,
Mm.
first you'll be
Mm,
protected by the fuselage, but the fuselage will be strapped, and then the pressure will be like
Yeah.
rah, everything will be mangled and everything. Yeah, it's not unless the pilot is awake and then he try to do a gliding,
Yeah.
then that's okay. But if it's just free falling, then
yeah,
woohoo, rock
yeah,
and roll,
yeah.
man. Yeah,
Mm.
madness.
Yeah. Now we're scaring people.
Yeah, everyone is like no. I mean, but actually, yeah, no, actually, I mean, it is still safer as compared to car because like there's like a lot of like research saying that if you travel on the road, car accidents has higher rate, blah.
Because
But I think for
every
mm,
flight they have a pre-check. They
yeah,
check every flight, but every time you drive a car, you don't check your car, right? You only send your car every 30,000 kilometers. You go for inspection, and then the dude there, the greasy dude, the grease monkey doesn't check everything. He only check the necessary: battery, brake fluid, brake pad, change tires, engine fluid. They don't check other stuff, right? They don't check other safety stuff. Um, but for plane, every flight they check, right? Yeah.
Mm.
Uh, so, do you know that technically, right? If any safety component in the plane that's defective, right, the plane is not supposed to fly. So let's say if you are lucky or unlucky enough to spot a seatbelt that is torn, or someone try to cut it, or whatever that's one off, and you should notify the air stewardess. Technically, right, the flight is not supposed to fly. Based on my understanding,
Wow.
yeah. So you're supposed to have a perfect seatbelt and
Mm.
everything, yeah.
or
But
if it's not a full flight, you can just change the seat, maybe.
I think they will have to make a report, and then maybe they have to block off the seat and they cannot sell it or something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
Mhm.
yeah. But before it comes to you, the air stewardess will have checked it. It's their
Mm.
job to check every piece. But whether they
To
do
make
is
sure
another
it's all
thing.
good.
Yeah, because some budget airline, they don't. Like you pull open
Mm.
the front pocket, you see all the previous passengers rubbish and I don't know, used condom and tissues and everything there. The gross, man. Yeah,
Mm.
right. Man, hey, today 53 minutes. I'm almost done already. Yay!
I think we are okay. We are not dragging the time already. I think we are
We have
okay.
to make back for the earlier episodes.
I think it's fine. We are very fine, right, people? Okay.
I'm fine, fine.
Okay,
We're good.
we are good. Thank you so
Balik
much
kampung.
Thank
for
you.
Yay.
thank you. Bye.